The music world is still in shock after the sudden death of Gary "Manny" Mounfield, the legendary bassist of the Stone Roses and Primal Scream. His passing at the age of 63 has left fans devastated, musicians grieving, and an entire generation reflecting on how deeply his groove shaped their youth. But in the middle of all the tributes flooding social media, one message has risen far above the rest. It came from his daughter, who shared an emotional remembrance that has already gone viral across the world. Her words began with a sentence that broke millions of hearts. "He was my hero." It was the kind of tribute only a child could write, raw, honest, and painfully real. She didn't talk about fame. She didn't talk about iconic albums or legendary tours. She talked about her father, her hero, her protector. Her message went viral not because of its length, but because of its truth. And in that truth, fans saw the man behind the legend. Gary "Manny" Mounfield was more than a bassist. He was the rhythm, the pulse, the heartbeat of two of Britain's most influential bands. Born in 1962 in Crumpsall, Manchester, he left school at 16 and drifted into a world of music that would eventually transform him into an icon. In his early years, he befriended Ian Brown. That friendship pulled him into the orbit of musicians who were experimenting, exploring, and reinventing the sound of a generation. He joined the Waterfront as a rhythm player, but soon moved to bass, a switch that would change both his life and British rock history. By the late 1980s and early 1990s, Manny had become one of the most recognizable bassists in the country. His hypnotic, dance-infused bass lines helped define the Stone Roses sound. Songs like "Fool's Gold," "I Wanna Be Adored," and "She Bangs the Drums" owe much of their atmosphere to the groove he brought with his signature Rickenbacker. Fans didn't just hear him, they felt him. His playing moved crowds, united subcultures, and blurred the line between club music and rock. For many, the Stone Roses weren't just a band of the moment. They were the soundtrack to youth, rebellion, and change. After the Roses split, Manny brought that same energy to Primal Scream. From 1996 to 2011, he helped shape some of their most adventurous work. When he eventually left the band to rejoin the Stone Roses for their 2012 comeback tour, fans treated it like a homecoming celebration. The tour would go down in history, beginning with massive shows in Manchester's Heaton Park and stretching across Europe, Asia, North America, and beyond. People who were there still talk about those nights as if they were witnessing a cultural event, not just a concert. This makes his sudden death even harder to comprehend. Only weeks before he passed away, Manny appeared on the Raconteurs podcast and revealed that he was ready to return to the stage again. He said he was itching to get back and had been revisiting his gear, reflecting on new musical possibilities. Friends encouraged him. Johnny Marr wanted to collaborate. Liam Gallagher had tried to bring him into projects before the Oasis reunion talk started. Manny's spirit was alive, excited, and ready for the next chapter. But on November 20th, 2025, everything changed. His brother Greg shared the heartbreaking news online. He wrote, "It is with the heaviest hearts that I have to announce the passing of my brother, Gary "Manny" Mounfield, R.I.P. RKE. That short message traveled fast, sparking a wave of disbelief. Fans who had just heard Manny speaking about future plans days earlier now found themselves mourning one of the most influential bassists of his generation. Tributes came instantly. Liam Gallagher wrote, "In total shock and absolutely devastated on hearing the news about Manny, my hero, R.I.P. our kid." Ian Brown simply said, "Rest in peace, Manny." Rowetta from Happy Mondays wrote, "Back with your Imelda, Manny. Going to miss you so much." Tim Burgess described him as one of the absolute best in every way. Every message carried the same tone: heartbreak, disbelief, and gratitude. But the story that captured the world's attention wasn't written by a fellow musician. It was written by Manny's daughter. Her words didn't try to summarize his legacy. They didn't try to explain how famous he was. They didn't try to place him in history. Instead, she wrote about him simply and beautifully. She wrote about his presence, his warmth, his encouragement. She said that even with all the people cheering for him, he always made sure his children felt like they were his biggest audience. She said that he taught her what strength looks like, that he taught her kindness, that he made her feel safe. She ended her message by repeating the words she began with, "He was my hero." That sentence has now been shared around the world millions of times. Her viral message comes during a particularly tragic chapter for their family. Mani's death arrives almost 2 years after the loss of his wife and the mother of his children, Imelda, who passed away from cancer in 2023. Friends say Mani was devastated by her death, and although he tried to keep going for the sake of his children, the grief weighed heavily on him. Now their twin boys, born in 2012, have lost both parents. Musicians, fans, and communities across Manchester have expressed sympathy for the children, calling for love, support, and protection during this unimaginable moment. Manchester has always been proud of Mani. He wasn't just part of the city's music scene, he was a symbol of its identity. The local charity ART for MCR wrote a powerful statement honoring his legacy. "We're gutted to hear of the passing of Gary Manny Mounfield," they said. "A true giant of this city and a massive influence on anyone who's ever picked up a guitar or stepped on a stage round here. Rest easy, Mani. Manchester's beat won't ever be the same." Fans agree. For them, Mani wasn't just a musician. He was part of their memories, the nights out, the gigs, the friendships formed in the glow of music that made people feel alive. His bass lines became part of their stories. And now, in his death, his daughter's message has given fans a window into the man behind the music. In the days since her tribute went viral, fans have begun writing their own stories in response. Some describe meeting Mani at small shows where he was approachable and warm. Others talk about how his music got them through difficult times or how the Stone Roses reunion shows became moments they will never forget. Many simply thank his daughter for reminding the world that behind every legend is a human being, someone who loves, who hurts, and who leaves behind people whose lives will never be the same. As fans continue to mourn, one thing has become clear. Gary "Mani" Mounfield didn't just influence music, he influenced people. His groove shaped the sound of a generation, but his spirit shaped the hearts of those who knew him personally. His daughter's message captured that perfectly, and it will remain one of the most emotional tributes of the year. Her words now echo across social media, across music communities, and across the world. He was my hero. And in many ways, he was a hero to millions more than she ever imagined.